Hey everybody, Animal Man here. Today I'm going to teach you how to survive primitively with only a knife. We're here in Vermont. It's late September. I'm eager to get started. Let's get to it. Alright, so first on the agenda is making a camp. There's a definite order of importance with survival. Shelter is number one on the list, followed by water, and then fire, and then food. And the weird thing is, even though that's the order to remember like in the back of your head, if you're trying to find a spot for your camp and you pass by wild edible plants or any resources, you don't skip them and come back just because you're not on that step right now. You collect things as you find them because it's a waste of energy to leave them there, come back later. Or you might not have time, it might be dark, you might forget where it is. I've done that before too. So you always keep your eyes open for, yeah, a great camp spot, but also water sources, wild edible plants, where animals might be. If you find any bones, antlers, even if you find human trash. I know, I mean, I hate finding it in the woods, but if you find a metal can or a glass bottle or plastic, you scoop those up. They'll help you greatly. There's no substitute for man-made materials out here, and that'll make your life a lot easier. All right, already you've got common plantain. This is great, and rather than put it in my pockets, get them all empty, I'm going to toss them in my hat for now and carry them around my hat. So all these larger leaves can be cooked later on as a pot herb, and the smaller ones can be eaten raw as is. Sweet goldenrod. You can eat small quantities of the small leaves, but the bigger ones you can put in a soup or stew or something like that. We got some clover. And these are fair game too. Fair game for cooking. We get a bunch of these. You can get a ton of this stuff. Ooh, and these are the seeds of the plantain. So I can pick that. Later on we can roast them and eat those too. So that's a whole separate meal kind of thing. Or a side dish. Another sweet find. Some old turkey feather. This would be a tail feather. Alternating leaves. Squarish stem. That means in the mint family. What type? I don't really know. Doesn't really matter. But they're all edible. Make an awesome tea out of them. So in the hat they go. I'm going to collect several of these. Like probably a small handful of them to toss in there. That way I can get some vitamins and a flavored beverage because water gets old quick. This is an awesome find too. This is birch. This would be great for starting fires with later. I get a bunch of it, and this I'll put in my pockets, but this will help us greatly later on. This is a great find. No freaking way. Dude. That is sweet. That is so cool. Alright. Very good find, guys. White-tailed deer antler. Pretty good shape. It's been chewed on by rodents, little mice and squirrels and whatnot, but you could use that for all kinds of things. There's a few small patches. One of my favorites, yellow wood sorrel, which will make our whole salad taste with a little bit of lemony flavor, some lemony goodness. So that's always a great thing to find. I love when I find that. Alright, here we've got a twofer. We've got mullein, which is great for making teas out of. Got the very fuzzy kind of leaves. You only need a few. There you go. Toss those in on the side there. And then right over here we have some violets, which are harder to recognize now because they don't have any flowers on them, but these are the violet leaves. Tons of vitamin C in those. So these are a great addition to our salad as well. Red clover, with those chevrons on it. And this is fair game for the pot too. Check this out. This is kind of worth noting. It's important. You see all these little pieces? These are pieces of pine cones. And these were put here by a red squirrel. This is called a midden pile. Red squirrels tend to pick several spots they prefer to sit and eat these and get the pine nuts out. And I can tell that this is one of his favorite spots. I mean, look up at this rock. You can see where he scratched the moss off, trying to climb up here. And then right up in here is his perch. Because there's also pieces down there. There's pieces on this side of the rock over here. So right here is his secret spot. And then when you find things like that, you know things like that, then you can use that to get yourself food later. Whoa, check this. This is a major score. These are wild roses. The species, I don't know. Near me, they're shaped differently. The leaves look different and the rose hips are shaped different, but these are definitely wild roses. And just these changed the game completely. And here's some yarrow. This is a very, very important medicinal herb. I'm going to take some of this just so I have it. I'm not cut up yet, but I'm going to be. So I'm going to put that in there, not for our main salad, but just so I have that at camp in case I need to use it for any cuts or whatever later on. Some sheep sorrel. And it's just a pretty wide variety of wild edibles around here. And alright, here's a great spot for my camp. I found it. We're on my friend's property, so I just want to make sure I'm not off the property so I don't get shot. Check it out. Nice clear area right in here. And here's all of our supplies we found. The wild edibles, deer antler, turkey feather, birch, and there's some yucca stalks that I found back near the road. So this is going to be our spot. Got to decide where I want my debris hut to be, where the fire ring is going to be, and let's get to it. Easy break. There you go. You break exactly where you want it to. Not going to hurt yourself. None of this over the knee business or like stepping on it business where you get hurt. And we're going to take our 2 fork sticks. And first I'm going to put the ridge pole in one of them here. And then we're going to get the other one where we need it to be. Like this. Alright everyone, so now we're going to build a fire pit. I'm going to put it right in here. So I want to rake all the leaves and rotten stuff. There's a layer of that. I want to kind of rake that all out of here the best I can. Been collecting rocks here. Going to put these larger ones as our little makeshift fire ring. And I'm going to save a lot of the smaller ones to put on the inside of here. And those are how we're going to cook our food and purify our water later on, you'll see. It's important when you collect rocks, both for your fire ring and if you're going to cook with them, that you get rocks from high up, places that it's not near water or very moist, because when these rocks heat up, man, I've had it happen, if there's moisture in them at all, when they heat up, they actually explode like little landmines, and you can hurt yourself or somebody with you really, really bad with these. So you gotta be very cautious of that. But if you're careful, select good rocks from good places, you don't have to worry about it. You'll be fine. No problem. You don't want to build a fire on the damp earth. You want something to be there. This could be tree bark, it could be wood splints, it could be reeds, starting out with reeds or cattails that are dry or something. I'm going to use rocks because we need the rocks to heat up in the fire anyway. So we're just going to line the whole bottom here with our rocks. Okay. Awesome. And this big flat one I found, we're going to keep around for later for preparing food, or I might even cook on it. I don't know. We'll see. And I found this quartz. This stuff is like gold. If you find this, you can use percussion and knock flakes of this off to make scrapers, knives, all kinds of things that you might need. So that is a very, very good find right there. But I have a knife with me, so I'm not going to use that for the time being. So here is where we are at. Our shelter's doing pretty well. It's not done yet. We need to get a lot more debris. You know, we probably need several times more than what we have right here already. But I'm feeling comfortable with it, that it's time to start working on other things. I want to work on fire now. So we just got our fire pit completed right there. And we've got these branches right down here, and you can see those left over from working on our debris hut. And we need to add to that. There's 2 red squirrels right behind me. He's like 10 feet away. He's checking on my debris hut. Too big for you, dude. So now we have to work on our fire. We need to collect lots more sticks. And just like with your debris hut, whenever you think you have enough debris, you're not even close. You need several times that amount. Same thing with the sticks here. I've got these sticks left over from working on our debris hut, but that's not even close to what we need for a fire. We need a lot more. We need armloads in here. That way, in the middle of the night, if you run out of whatever, you get cold, you have it here. You don't have to go blind through the woods, you know, getting sticks in the eye and maybe getting lost trying to find them. So we're going to get all different sizes. We're going to find some more birch bark for tinder. See if we can find any cedar around to help with the tinder, but I haven't seen any around on the way here. We're also going to get toothpick diameter sticks, pencil diameter sticks, finger diameter sticks, all the way up to between thumb and wrist diameter sticks. Those are our sizes that we're looking for. But you don't go around and waste your energy and time and collect like all the toothpick ones and then bring them back and then all the pencil ones. You collect it all together and you break it down here and make different piles here when you get here. That's the smart and efficient way to do it. I'll cut it out. So here's a pine that's been taken down. This will be great for at least starting a fire with, but creates a lot of sparks and it pops a lot. So I'll get some of this. Bet you're asking by now, why the heck did he not try to get those squirrels? Is he a vegetarian or what's the deal? Well, here's the gosh honest truth, guys. I'm in Vermont, and throughout all of New England, probably other places too, from late spring to I'd say early fall, you don't need to hunt or trap. There are so many wild edible plants around here, and you know, that's why in my other videos I always push the wild edible plants. You have to know them. Use them for all different things. Use them for your fire. Use them for food. Use them for tools. All different things, man. And there are so many plants around here, and that is all you need. So in survival, you always want to do things as efficiently as possible, not waste time, not waste energy. And you know what? Half the year around here, hunting and trapping, and fishing even too, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy. No, it's not as cool. Eating plants is not as cool as hunting and trapping. It's not as sexy, you know. But I'm just being honest. I'm telling you guys the gosh honest truth. Other areas, you know, would not be the same. The same rules will not apply. There's areas that are a lot more. The weather is a lot more intense, and you would. I mean, there may not be enough plants, but around here, all the states I've checked out, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, all those states and probably a whole bunch of other states, you don't need to hunt or trap in the summer. I've got one little amendment to what I just told you. If I were starting out in emergency survival in early fall when you don't need to hunt or trap and I knew I was going to be in for a while and in big trouble, then even though I don't need to hunt and trap and fish at the moment, I'd start it. You'd start it. Just because you don't know. And the only way to survive the winter is to have things stored up. You have to store the plants up that are available now. You've got to have meat cured up, ready to go. And that's what you need to do in reality. One-handed. Bam! All right. Now we need some really thin, papery. Here we go. We need that. We need exactly that. So we're going to scrape off all the most papery stuff for our tinder bundle. Look at this. This is just perfect. This will be great. Look at all this potential firewood on the ground. It's awful tempting, isn't it? I mean, it's all over. But here's the deal. This would be the worst stuff to collect, to make fires with. Because everything on the ground in here is the dampest, the wettest. It's in different stages of decay. As tempting and easy as it looks, it's going to make your life hell trying to make a fire, especially by a primitive method like the bow drill. So, here's what I'm going to show you. Most people don't even think of this. In every living tree are dead branches, still in the tree, but hanging up in the air. So they're dead, they're dried out, they're up in the air, drying out from the wind constantly. Those are what you're looking for. They're all over the place. Don't climb trees to get them, and nothing too thick that you can't break off safely, but they're everywhere. Just break off stuff that you can handle. Like this, starting to crack, look at that. That was super easy. That's like perfect, right there. This one, just sitting, jeez. Just sitting there waiting to be taken for a fire. Here's another idea for you. Look at this. It's an evergreen. It's laying there dead. Dead branches, nice and dry. Ripe for the picking off the ground. These would be perfect also. Yeah, they're nice and dry. Now, I need to make a pair of tongs to cold burn my wood bowls after. Okay. Alright, and with any luck, I've got a ready-made set of tongs. There you go. Perfect for picking up coals. So I've got another two smaller Y sticks, and I'm going to shove them in the ground about here. Connect the two Y sticks this way, and then we lay a whole bunch across the top. So I'm just going to go right in front right here and just shove this all right in there. Then I'm going to have to stick my legs in there and keep kicking it all back. Make sure it gets all the way down. Alright, it's dusk. I'm going to call it quits for the day. Had a good day, but I'm tired, but I accomplished pretty much everything I wanted to. And supposed to get down in the 40s tonight. It might rain also, I think. I wish I had more debris on there, but I've got most of the inside filled, which is good. I'll have to like toss it all over me. Got a little bit of space in there that I don't want, and no door, but this is the kind of thing you work on over time anyway. So I'm gonna go in there, see how we do, see how it is, and I'll see you in the morning. I'll leave this here. Here's our wood all spread out. Now we're going to make our fire structure. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a very basic fire structure. This is called a teepee fire. And just like a teepee you'd see a picture of, it's the same kind of triangular shape as a teepee. And then we're going to leave one side open like a little entrance door. And that way we can get our tinder bundle in there once it's flamed up. So we're going to arrange this to a very rough teepee shape. We're going to leave the side near you guys open. So right there is our entrance. So I'm going to go on gently. I don't want to destroy the shape we've made. It's a little delicate right now. Still got that entrance hole. I'm only going to put on a few of the really big pieces for right now. So here's our teepee fire structure, guys, completed. You can see right in there is where I'm going to put the tinder bundle when we're ready. And then this whole thing will burn down, get these rocks nice and hot so I can cook with them later on and get a nice bed of coals on top of it so I can make those the bowls. Got some logs here that I grabbed on the way into camp that I found. I'm going to burn bowls into both of those. So we're going to prepare to get our fire going now. We've got the wood ready. Got another pile of wood right there all broken up, ready to go. And now we're going to do a bow drill fire. So for this you need 4 parts. You need a spindle that turns. You need a fireboard on the bottom, a handhold, and a bow to bow back and forth with. On the way into camp, I grabbed a bunch of these. These are yucca stalks. Just very, very gently rotate it. Keep rotating it. You don't have to go in deep, you don't have to do it hard. So once you're all the way around, you should be able to just snap it and you get that perfect clean edge there. All right, now for the spindle, I'm going to just taper the ends a little bit so they'll go on our fireboard and our handhold. It's just easier to start it out with a slight, rounded end. It's going to round off pretty quick on its own anyway, but it just makes it a little bit easier on you. Most videos that show bow drill show the classic flattened piece of wood with the pizza slice notch cut out of the side. In real life, in a real situation, there's extra carving you have to do. You don't want to carve when you don't need to. It's a waste of energy, a waste of time. So I'm going to show you an advanced technique using these stalks here. And what we're going to do is we're going to tie them together with my shoelace. And we're going to tie them as tight as we can. And when we drill down into that, it's just like a notch, but it's actually better. It's like 2 notches. So if we do this correctly, we have the possibility of getting a coal on either side. And that's more of a chance of starting your fire. So we're going to score these again, right about here probably, break them off, tie them together. Use one shoelace to tie these up. Other shoelace will be for our bow for the drill. So now for our bow, I've got this birch limb here with a slight natural curve to it, about 20 inches probably. I'm going to cut this, and this is going to be for our bow. I'm just going to make a little notch on each end to hold that string better. We're kind of going to put everything together now. I need my shoelaces. And this is nylon. These laces are nylon, but I don't know, they're already chewed up in certain spots. I don't know how strong they're going to be and if they're going to take the friction okay. I'm going to try to wrap it around both of these nice and tight several times. Maybe I'll do a square knot on it. So there we got a square knot. You can wedge the string in between them. That'll make it very, very tight. You can even figure 8 it like that, and now it's super tight. I suppose if one of these broke, if the string breaks trying to use the bow drill, I could always take the string off our yucca fireboard and take that one long lace we'd have from that and put it on the bow and swap them out, then use the 2 broken pieces for this. But hopefully it won't come to that. We'll see what happens here. Nice and tight, put it right over the tip. Hopefully that'll hold. And then this end we'll make just some overhand knots or maybe a square knot. That way we can adjust it if we need to. And if you do not have shoelaces, what would you possibly use for this? You can use rawhide or leather. You can make woven reverse wrap cordage from fibrous plants like the leaves of yucca or the stems of milkweed. Or you can use a rootlet. There's all different things you can use if you need to improvise, but they have to stand up to friction. So there's advanced techniques where you don't get as much friction. We're not going to show you right now. I'll save that for another day. So I've cut a green birch sapling to make our handhold. We'll use the rest of the tree in our fire eventually to not waste it. And I'm just trying to cut the end off here by batoning for our handhold. Batoning is great. That way you can direct the force of your blows, not waste energy, not possibly slip and cut yourself. It's definitely the way to go. You should have to have the right kind of knife for this to hold up to this kind of abuse. Not every knife can do it. Not pushing down very hard at all. I don't want to slip and slice myself, but I'm just mainly doing this prying, drilling motion just to start to get a little bit of a hole started, that's all. Little tiny hole. Come on, buddy. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. So, you got a fire, but no shoelaces. But I'll take it. I'll take it. We're starting to get a little bit of coals in the bottom, so now we're going to work on making a bowl to boil our water in, cook our food in. So I've got this log that I grabbed on the way into camp. You can find logs like this cut by people on trails all around. But if not, if I don't find any logs like this, I can build my camp near a fallen tree. Burn this right into the fallen tree, the tree trunk, right here. So I have done that before too. Well, having a log is just convenient. That worked out great. So I've got our pair of tongs. We made primitive tongs just by finding a small sapling with a natural fork in it. And you want this to be a live sapling, that way it's got some nice spring to it. And I flattened down the insides here, and I've got my primitive tongs. I've got a separate video real quick on how I made these. And these are what you use to get some coals on here. So you just put them on the log in a little pile. And they're going to char the wood. So you let it sit. And the wind that's picking up today is actually going to help a great deal with this. So you let it sit on there for 5 or 10 minutes. Do its thing. Char it. Then we'll dump it back into the fire pit. Scrape out the char. And do it again. It does take a while, but you multitask. While this is burning, you go do other things. I'll go collect more debris from my hut while this is charring the wood here. Just get our pyramid back together. And I want to show you this. This rock, I smashed on the other rocks and it split in half and it's got this sharp edge on it. This is what I'm going to use to scrape out the char when we're done. So now this is charred in. I'm going to dump it right back in the fire. I've got this half of a piece of rock that's split. I'm just going to scrape these charred bits back in towards the fire pit. And that's what you're left with. I'll zoom in for you. So that's what it looks like for now. Just getting the start of a depression in there. All right, now our coal burn bowl's underway. Now, once I get water back to camp, I'm going to rock boil the water in there, but I need some way to get it to camp. So I need a second bowl. And I need a bowl that's quick and able to be carried. So the answer to that, my favorite way, is to use pine bark. And there's a bunch of pine trees around here. I gotta find a good one. that's large enough that I'm not going to kill it by taking bark off, or a larger tree that has a branch that I can get it off is even better. So we'll see what's shaking, see what's around here. Here's a pine tree. This is large enough that I'm not going to take bark from around the whole thing. So I got this birch branch that I'm going to use. I need 4 of these little pegs. I'm going to make little, like, basically they're going to be like little clothespins. Here, water. Yep, there's the stream. Oh, sweet. I just needed to hold water long enough for me to get it to camp. Don't spill it all on the way in there. All right, we're just going to dump these back in. So I'm going to pour a little bit of water in here from our transport container, just to get this rinsed out. Then I'll put some more in there to actually boil with. All right, I don't want that in the fire pit. All right, now let's get some more. All right, so this did its job. It's got a little bit of, cracks in it, a little bit of holes. I plugged them up the best I could, but it did its job. It got the water here, and now we can do the cooking and water purification right in this log. This is the main one we're going to use. So this worked out very, very nicely. Now, I've got to fish out a hot rock from down in here, in the center of this fire pit. Look at that. Ooh. Awesome. So that right there just purified my water. And yeah, it's only a cup worth, but that's what I need for now. That's all I need for now. I'll drink it a cup at a time in the beginning. No problem. We'll start tossing some of our herbs in there. At least get a little bit of food. So now we've got the beginnings of a little stew here. And although it's not the size I would like, later on, or tomorrow, whenever, you can always make this bowl bigger. And longer you're in survival, you get time to work on things, the better and better off you get. I'm going to take this rock out, let that cool off, because I need a drink. Alright, so this is cool enough that I can take a sample now. And I've decided to add all the different plants in here with it. Not just water, because this is the only bowl I have that I can boil in right now that'll hold the water for a long time. And in survival, it's all about multitasking. And right now, I've got almost as much water as if the plants weren't in there, but I'm getting some nutrition also. So that's a plus. So you can do it together. And when you do things primitively like this, except for the plants that are edible raw, that you eat as you go, the other ones you're gonna cook in a soup or a stew just like this anyway, so you're gonna get your nutrition with your hydration at the same time. Now let's take a little sample. Dying to see how it came out. Piece of tree bark. It's good, it's good. Some of those plantain leaves in there. Oh, that one was good. That was really good. So I know it might not seem like much, but when you're hungry enough for long enough and you're exhausted, even something as small and simple as this is a big deal. It becomes a very, very big deal. So I'm very thankful for this. So, I'm quite content with what I've got here for right now, but there's an evolution, a constant evolution to the survival camp. As time goes on, as you have time and things look better, things get easier. You have time to work on more projects at a more of a leisure pace and relax. The first 3 days are always intense, no matter what. But then after that, it's more like playtime. You get to have fun, make some cool stuff, hang out, enjoy the wildlife, explore, work on your shelter, get more leaves on there, make it even warmer, waterproof. I'm going to be getting a better bowl. That's the top project. Make a better bowl to transport water, one that actually holds water for a long period of time. This one slowly drips it out. A bigger bowl with this coal burn bowl here. Make it bigger and bigger so it can hold water. I might even decide I want to start carving out the outside a little bit and make it look more polished like an actual bowl that I can move around instead of carrying this honking log around, you know. Multiple bowls. A project I want to do soon would be to make a spoon. That way I don't have to stoop down and tilt this in my mouth. But things like that, as you have time, you do them. It makes things better, easier, more conveniences. And that's the name of the game. So hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll be back to you with another video soon. Animal Man Survivor out.